The T20 International Series, Harsha, that is going to be hugely significant. Yes, we've been talking up the ODI series, saying, listen, let's look at the points, let's try and keep the format alive, let's try and look at ODI performances, also get to that T20 World Cup. But this is the actual format looking ahead to the T20 World Cup.
Oh, no doubt. There's lots more at stake. So we looked at Bhuvneshwar Kumar there, but now we're going to look at him through very different eyes. How does he bowl in the power play? How does he bowl at the death? Is Chahar now emerging as a more powerful Bhuvi almost? Where do you fit Chakravarti in? Because you definitely want to look at Varun Chakravarti. Do you play Krunal Pandya and Varun Chakravarti? Do you play Chahar and Chahal? So there's lots to decide there. And I have little doubt in my mind that India will play both Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson. The question is who bats where, because they all bat at 3, right? Surya bats 3, Ishan has batted 4 for MI, but when he plays for Jharkhand, he bats up the order. Does Sanju Samson come down to 5, or do they say, okay, we'll have a left-hander down at 5? So there's things to think about, but I think we'll see from this side Ishan Kishan coming in place of Manish Pandey in the T20s. You'll get both the Pandya brothers, and then the bowling, Bhuvi and Deepak Chahar definitely in.
So all the names, Zahir, that Harsha has mentioned so far have got a look in at one point or another in the ODI series. How about a couple who've not got a look in and they've been there already? Ruturaj Gaikwad, Devdutt Padikkal.
I think they'll have to hope that the first 2 games is an easy victory for Indian team, and then they go the similar way how they've gone. Otherwise, you look at that squad. I think for them to start into playing 11 is going to be difficult. Unless the team management is thinking otherwise. But you have Shikhar Dhawan, the captain. Obviously, he's going to open the innings. You have Prithvi Shaw, Surya Kumar Yadav. Manish Pandey is going to find it hard to come in the side. Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan. So I think there are too many options and too many top order options there for the team management to think about. So looking at that, I think it's going to be tough for maybe Devdutt Padikkal to feature in that playing 11, but on the whole, I think it's going to be an interesting series. And I'm saying that just because how Sri Lanka has progressed in this ODI series was maybe glimpses of what's coming India's way in the T20 series, and in the shorter format, you've seen the competition and the margins also gets reduced. So that way, I think I'm looking forward to see the competition, I think. And when there's good competition, then you always enjoy watching the game of cricket.
Yeah, we did say 2-pronged objective, Harsha, at the start of the ODI series. Here as well, I mean, you're always looking to go out as the national side to go and win. But there will be just that little different edge to it. There are certain players who are in England right now, ready to play Test cricket, who walk into that T20 World Cup side. In fact, the 11. You put those guys aside and then look at how many slots you have left.
Yeah, so who are these two? There's Rohit and there's Virat. But outside of Rohit and Virat, who walks into the
Bumrah.
T20 side outside of these people?
Just
then there's Bumrah. Yeah, Bumrah at the bowling end. But otherwise, this is a far more representative India side than the ODI side. Because in the ODI side, you probably got a few more who might have come in. Ravindra Jadeja will come in as well. But this is, in terms of batting, far more representative. But with the T20 World Cup coming around, there's no T20 internationals other than these 3. Because India don't play anymore other than the 2 warm-up games between the IPL and the T20 World Cup. So I think there's places up there. Remember, there's a Shreyas Iyer also who's waiting to show that in the IPL he'll come in at that number 4 spot. I think Surya Kumar Yadav has done pretty much enough to seal that 3 if Virat wants to open. But I'd love Prithvi Shaw to say, you Virat Kohli, but me Shaw can go and get runs quickly as well. So I'd like to see Prithvi Shaw. I'd like to see Sanju Samson, Ishan Kishan just put in powerful performances to make selection of that team a little more difficult.
And just to complete the picture, as it were, we've talked a lot about Bhuvneshwar Kumar Zahir over the course of the ODI series. Now, as Harsha started this discussion by saying, looking at him through different eyes, giving him those 4 overs, when does he bowl them, how does he bowl them, and where does he slot in next to Jasprit Bumrah?
I think it's a problem of plenty. more and more names you
Yeah.
throw there, with regard to batting as well. Like as Harsha was talking, I was thinking, okay, there are so many names here, and we've forgotten KL Rahul's name as well,
Correct.
who's been given the confirmation that okay, you have to keep, and then you will be playing in the playing 11. So I
And
think,
Rishabh Pant?
yeah, so I think it's definitely going to be a problem of plenty, and more series like this happen where you kind of give opportunity to more and more players and create that magnitude of that problem even bigger. So looking at Bhuvneshwar also is going to be a similar sort of problem. You have many bowlers now who are looking and falling into that similar kind of category. The category which I'm talking about is bowling with the new ball, maybe bowling one over, because Bumrah is going to take the load of bowling those 2 overs at the back end. So which actually gives you flexibility of using that swing bowler at the top. But when you're looking at that option as well, you have Shardul, who's had a great Australian series and have been shaping up well. You have Deepak Chahar, who's been doing the similar kind of role. You have Bhuvneshwar Kumar. You have someone like Sakaria also showing that promise. So if you want to add that variety, are you going to go that route as well? Because there is a chance that you might think of saying, okay, Bumrah, Deepak Chahar, and then you add a variety of a left armour, which also has an option of Natarajan. So I think the list is long. So at the end of the day, it's just going to boil down to how and what are the venues, what are the kind of conditions you are looking at, because your decision actually is not only going to be made on what a player is bringing to the table, it's also going to be what kind of conditions and what kind of positions you are playing and the matchups which have been used so much these days. So I think it's going to be a very complex decision making, but nonetheless I think the options are there for any direction which a team management decides to go, and that's why it's so critical to define that. I think it's very important that you define what kind of 11 you're looking at, what kind of skeleton or what kind of combination you're looking at as a team to get you some kind of assurance around winning that World Cup.
I'm thinking we're the host nation. Is it too late to have 2 teams entered in the tournament? I'm thinking back to that Australia tri-series every year after year. One year Australia decides we're going to have 2 teams and they did exactly
but there will
that.
be 2 teams again. India go to South Africa in January, February. It's a great time to have a T20 series somewhere. Maybe you could have a T20 series in India, but the guys are not in South Africa. Anyway, it's 12:15, so we can talk about it afterwards.
Yes. So let's just quickly finish on Sri Lanka. The M word that we hate using, but the fact is they won that 3rd ODI. They want to look at results. Of course, they want to try out their own players. Of course, they themselves are looking to select players for that T20 World Cup and identify talent. So partly, of course, whether you want to use momentum or not, there are a few players from the ODI series who have stood out, but maybe the odd name that will come in for the T20 series, Harsha.
Maybe they'll play a spinner less and have a seamer more, but they're missing their all-rounder. I mean, if someone's got a muscle tear, then he's not coming back. I don't know how bad the injury for Hasaranga is. If it's just a little strain and they're worried about a tear, then maybe they rested him here today. But if there is that muscle injury, he's not coming back, because the person in our studio along with us is not only a master of left-arm swing bowling, but knows more about hamstrings and calves and groin than any other player around. So he'll tell you he's not coming back if it's an injury.
It's doubtful for sure, knowing that the series is going to get over in a week's time. Even the muscle strain, usually you're talking about 4-5 days.
Yeah.
So I doubt that he will be taking part in the series. But I think Sri Lankan team will take cues from the ODI series and maybe look at pace off options more. That's something has worked for them, especially against Prithvi Shaw and the power of Indian batters. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of road they decide to take. Yusuf Udana is someone who has been a T20 specialist, so maybe he will get a look in again. Chamira has been their main bowler. They'll look to close the innings with these options. With batting, I think the similar kind of faces will take on the field, and we'll see how it goes.